Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Enos. It's Updo Monday. I'm going to show you how to do this really pretty petaled flower. It's just from a 3-strand braid. And what we're going to do, I've done the first one, but what we're going to do is we're going to just do 2 more, and we're just going to do them at a diagonal this way. Okay, so if you can braid, you can do this. This is great for people with really long, one-length hair. All right, so what I like to do is when I part, a lot of times I like to do just a little bit of a zigzag because it just blurs the line, okay, and it doesn't have straight scalp. So if you have any scalp showing, it's not a straight line. You can just actually blur it. All right, so then we want to work nice and smooth, okay? So I'm going to brush this out really, really smooth. And we're going to start to braid, and we're going to braid down in the direction where we want this flower to sit. So all I'm going to do is slightly at a diagonal here. I'm going to just get 3 strands. I want my tails even. So I want to try to get them as even as possible. All right. Move this a little bit. All right, so we're going to start to braid down slightly at a diagonal with my braid going this way because that's where I want my flower to sit. All right, so I'm going to braid this just a couple times like a regular braid. Okay, just a few times. Okay, so when I braid it just a couple of times, what I'm going to do is just grab this outside, this first piece on the outside, and I'm just going to grab the tip. So we're just going to really pancake that out. Just be gentle. But I want these first few pieces to be really big because they're going to be the outside of my flower. So I want those to be a pretty big petal. Okay, so I'm going to braid just a couple more down, and then I'm going to take the tip of this outside piece, and we're only doing the outside because that gives us that pretty flowered petal when you only do the outside. Braid a couple more times, and you only braid a couple times because it keeps it loose enough where you can really pancake, what we call pancaking out this braid. So if you get too tight, it's really sometimes hard to pull. And if it's hard to pull, just hold it right there on the inside and just pull out the outside. All right, so I'm going to do this a couple more times, braid this a couple more times. Now these inside ones I don't need to be as big because they're the inside of my petal, and I can always adjust them later after I've wrapped this. But these I need really big on the outside right there. So I need those petals pretty big. But as I get closer to the end, I don't need them as big. Okay, so then I'm just going to braid what's left, because I only have a little bit, and I'm going to just band the end. Now you can band the end, and if you need to go back, then you can. You can just adjust these out just a little bit like that. Okay, so then what I do is I take this tail, I wrap it on the inside of my finger on the inside. Because when I bring this up in a circle, I want that tail to be on the inside so it's not poking out. So I bring that, and then I just start to wrap this, and I'm wrapping it on top of this braid, okay? So I'm not wrapping it in the back because I want my petals to show, so I'm wrapping it on top of that braid. Okay, so then we're just going to keep wrapping until my big petals come and meet. Okay, so then I'm just going to hold it right there, and I'm going to get my really big pins, and I'm going to come through the back, and I'm going to start to weave my pin in and out like this. Okay, that's just going to grab a lot more hair for me. You don't open your pin. I'm going to come back through here, do the same thing. I'm just going to grab some hair, and then I'm going to weave it to the base. So I feel like that's secure enough that I can let my hand go. But then I want to pin this middle because I don't want that popping out. So then I'm just going to go in take some of that in the middle and just pin it right to the base. Just like that. Okay, so then I can go back in and just adjust my petals through here that I really want to stand out just a little bit more. So I can go in and just pull at those petals a little bit more. If I want a little bit more definition, I can do that through there. But see, I want it to set right next to this one, so I've actually put it just underneath this petal here, so they can just lay on top of each other. All right, okay, so then we have this one. We want to do the same thing. We're going to put it right in this corner spot, and it's going to be right next to this underneath. So same thing, I want to braid this in the way that I want it to sit, okay? So I'm going to slightly braid it back through here. I'm going to get 3 strands. Try to make them really even. And you want to work really clean. And when I talk about working clean, I'm talking about making the section really smooth, where you don't have a lot of flyaways. And if you do, you could use like a spray wax or something to really help you with that. Okay, so I'm going to just bring that top over like I'm braiding a 3-strand, but I'm slightly pulling it back, you know, back toward the nape, because that's where I want it to sit. So I'm going to just braid it a few times here, okay, and then I'm going to come into this first one, and I'm just going to tug at the tip of that and just start to pancake that out, just like this, okay? I'm going to come in here, just grab the tip, just start to pancake this out. Now, like I said before, these ones I want bigger because they're going to be my outside petals. So I'm going to just braid this a few more times. Grab that edge and just really start to pull it out. I can always come back and do more. But just be gentle. Don't be too rough, you know, where you'd have to go in and braid the whole thing again. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that edge. Now, sometimes it's hard to pull. If you just hold it here with your finger, then you can just, you know, tug that out without you feeling like it's going to all come out. All right, so then I'm just going to pull this edge. And like I said, these are going more on my inside petals, so I don't need those as big. But I still want to get enough definition when I loop this up that they're going to look like petals. All right, so I just come in here, and I just, if it's hard to pull, I'm just holding that with my finger and then just sliding that edge. This gives you just a little bit more support in there. Okay, I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to band the end. While that's holding that for me, I'm just going to come back in, and I'm just going to adjust anything that I want a little bit more of. And I want a little bit more in these petals that I first started, because like I said, they're going to be my outside petals, so I want them bigger. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust that, and we're just doing the outside, because when we wrap this, that's going to be our outside petal. Okay, same thing. I'm going to wrap this on the inside of my finger, start my little loop circle, and I'm going to come in and just roll it up on top of the inside of this braid. Not on the outside, your petals won't show. So I'm going to come in here, wrap it on the inside of my braid. I'm just going to place it, I'm going to lift that up, and I'm going to place it right where I want to, right at the back of this ear. Okay, I'm just going to hold it there, and I'm not going to let go until I feel like it's really secure. So I'm going to come in with my pin. I don't open. I come through, find a back part, and I just start weaving in those pieces. These big pins hold a lot of hair. Okay, so then I'm going to come back through here, and I'm going to start finding and weaving in these hair. When I feel like it's secure, I'm going to let go of it. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm really going to secure all of this down. Anything I think that needs just a little bit more support, I'm going to go and really pin it, and especially this middle part right here. Now it's really better if you use a band that's, you know, closer to the hair color, so that if it does show, it's not as noticeable. All right, so then we're going to come back here and I'm just going to start to secure all of these pieces. And I don't like to see, you know, I don't like to see pins in hairdo. So try to hide them as much as possible going in the back, and it's great to do with especially braids or petals. You know, you should be able to go in the back of them to hide them. Okay, so then when I feel I'm pretty secure, I'm going to go back in, and especially if I see a band or a pin, it's a great place to put some bling. All right, so we're just going to go through here, especially in the middle of that rose or flower petal is a great place. And if it doesn't fit, just readjust it. If it's not going in, just readjust it. All right, if a pin isn't working, pull it out, readjust it. You should never just start digging into your client, because they're gonna have a headache all night. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in. Anything I feel like I just need to secure, and if I have any flyaways, I'm just gonna go in with the tail of my brush or comb, and I'm just gonna tuck those while I spray through here. I'm not spraying this girl because she's synthetic and gets to be a mess. But see how pretty that is. Now you can also come back through here and then just tug a little bit at this crown area, and that will give you a little bit more fullness right through this area and through there. But then you've just got this really beautiful, this diagonal rose flower pattern all the way down, and it just makes a really pretty updo, just like that. And so easy, guys. 3-strand braids, pancaking one side, rolling it up, pinning it. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Happy styling.